then SKT went on to lose the series. The end. Welcome back to Champion Spring. Kuzan's our MVP for Game 2. That was a great series until Game 3, by the way. Yeah. If you haven't caught that one, at least go back and watch the first 2 games. They were very good.
And this game, Jin Air gets the lead. We've seen a lot of top lane camping so far in this series. First game, it was Trace getting killed 3 times underneath his turret. This time it was Cube getting killed 4 times underneath his turret.
Noticing a trend.
It's all about the top camping. So Trace took over this game. Did very well on the Gnar, but you know, Kuzan was just great on this Lissandra. Got the necessary outplays in the end. He was really solid in game 1 too. His victor was the only thing that was keeping Jin Air in that game for a long, long time.
Yeah. And Samsung having to dig deep a little bit going into this 3rd game. The team that, you know, we were saying was maybe a little bit stronger. We knew we'd be close, but, you know, I feel like everything's still proceeding according to plan, right? You know, Samsung wins a game, Jin Air wins a game. You know, and so if our plan is correct, if our predictions hold up, this will be a close game, but a win for Samsung. We'll see. Going into Game 3, Jin Air versus Samsung. Fiora, the first ban over on the Jin Air side.
Well, Jin Air's ban, or win rather, was much more decisive.
Yeah, that's
for say
sure.
that. Jin Air did ban Fiora, Poppy, and Rise on this blue side in game number 1. Looks like we're going to see the same bans for the most part. We can see a very similar draft. Will the Rise be banned once again by Jin Air? Samsung first picked it, but they dealt with it. However, that is not going to be the case in this game. And there is GP, so identical bans to win. Jin Air was on blue side and Samsung was on red side in the first game of this best of 3, and so far the same picks. Except no Thresh. It'll be Lissandra Graves this time as our first difference in the pick ban.
Well, we've certainly seen Lissandra make a very big difference in team fights on both sides of the series.
Well, I also didn't understand why they needed to pick Thresh in the first round of the draft on the red side in game number 1. Of course, this is pretty telegraphed. Cube is likely to get this Lissandra pick. Now, Rek'Sai, Victor were the selections for Jin Air when they were put in this situation previously, but they could take away the Thresh, which Wraith has been really prioritizing in this series, and they are going to switch it up maybe for Wings Lee Sin.
Could be. No, could just go with the Rek'Sai again. That'd be the safer pick, I suppose. Taking that Thresh away is nice. You basically guarantee Ambition will die a few more times in the game if you take Thresh away from the enemy team. It's true. Actually,
hard to argue with that.
I know. I seriously, I really wonder what Ambition's deaths per game rate is in games where Wraith has Thresh and doesn't have Thresh. Go back and see the CJ ones too, where Mad Life has Thresh or doesn't have Thresh.
I really hope that they pick Trundle this game for Wraith. I want to see Lucian Trundle right here. They would have great zone and very good damage output, and they can still pick up the Victor or even a Cassiopeia, which we know Crown is quite skilled at, as their last pick in this game. This is a much better draft from Samsung. They have better engage this time. They have 2 big, slow ice pillars in Lissandra's self-ult and the Trundle pillar to play around with these 2 AD carries that are already maneuverable. I really like this. Very good.
They're going for it. They suffered in the draft last game, but things looking a little bit better this time around.
It's also, if you think about Samsung's style, they're great at Cassiopeia. So when you have this much zone, you can play Cassiopeia safely because you're going to get one person isolated for Cassiopeia just to burst down without being under a big threat herself.
Good point, yeah.
So I think this is really good.
Well, Kuzan will be taking that Victor again, I am expecting. And might we see the top Morgana from Trace?
This will be the 3rd time for a top Morgana this season.
It's one of his pocket picks, and he is good on it.
Yep, and the Black Shield there to prevent the Lissandra ult from locking himself or someone else down. So it's a nice adaptation because they dove him multiple times. And he's worried about that TF again. So Black Shield, that's not going to be a very easy lane to gank with TF and with Lissandra, but I don't think that they should pick TF here. I think they should take Cassiopeia.
Okay, well there's Morgana, and Victor's got to be locked in. Yeah. Yep. So the last pick over now to Samsung. And Will it be the TF like game 1, or will it be something different? You want the Cassiopeia.
I really do. I think it's a great pick here. And it's just a comfort pick for Crown. The Corki's fine too, though, actually. Corki's still available. They definitely will not pick TF.
One thing that's pretty shocking is Lulu has fallen all the way through the draft.
Yeah, you don't need Lulu here, though.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is a little bit on the stranger side. The Corki would allow you to have more poke alongside.
Zillion. Well, it's easy to land bombs when they're slowed down by the pillar, I suppose.
Also provides more zoning. But when we've seen the Zillion, it's typically been paired with Poppy kind of in regions around the world. If you guys want to check out kind of the use of Poppy and Zillion, there's a very good article on the, I think it's by Emily Rand. It's on the Score, I believe, at the moment. You can look it up. It's kind of tracks how that has developed, and of course we've seen it from KT, from Energy. It's been played in China, and the LJL also. Interesting meta development, that particular combination, because it allows you such threat when you're diving. Of course, Lissandra does have the gap closers too, but not necessarily the same amount of disengage, because it doesn't have the Poppy W to stop people from going in, and doesn't have the ability to knock some people away and out of the dive so you can pick off one person. Yeah. Operates a little bit differently. So Samsung going to go for the Zillion anyway, though. Crown.
I mean, if you think again, with the slows and people getting locked down by Lissandra, it's a lot of easy targets for Zillion.
Yeah, and just, man, the zone is so crazy. The bombs that you have to avoid picking up, the Trundle pillars. It's actually going to make landing bomb stuns super easy.
Yep, that's the idea. I'm pretty sure. So Samsung with a good lineup. Obviously, Jinair looking pretty strong as well. Kuzan back on that Victor is certainly something that if you're on Samsung, you need to be a little bit worried about.
Problem with Jinair is that I don't know how they're going to engage. It's the exact opposite problem that they had last game.
Well, we'll find out. Samsung versus Jinair. One win takes it all. Let's get in the game and see who gets it.
We'll find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on mother.
Turn your back on mother.
It's cruel.
I know. Horrible stuff in that song.
Yeah, Jinair, yeah, they've got this composition with Thresh and Morgana. They can create picks just like Samsung could last game, but good luck actually engaging. You need a flash on Winged or a flash on Trace. It is better, I think, than what we saw from Samsung's composition, but there's just so much disengage from Samsung. So many tools to get out of a team fight and just kite their way to success. They also have that dive threat with the Zillion. I really like Samsung's draft here, and Jinair, they've got pressure at the very least, and they're not going to be able to kill Trace a million times in lane, most likely, while he has this Morgana against the Lissandra. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Samsung does, because if they dive with the Lissandra, she ults herself and Wraith puts a pillar down, it's going to be easy to box people in to set up the bomb stuns and then finish off the kill.
And take a look at our Keystone Masteries. We are on patch 6.2, so a little bit less Thunderlords.
Yeah, but still pretty much exactly what you would expect here.
Oh yeah.
Too exciting. I think the rules are pretty much falling into place in terms of the Keystone Masteries. Are you on a long-range mage in the top lane? Please take Thunderlords. Are you on a melee top laner? Please take Grasp of the Undying. Check the box.
That makes sense. We'll see how well Crown lanes against Kuzan's Victor. I don't believe we've seen Crown play Zillion yet.
Nope. This has been the first week of Zillion games in Korea.
Ignite used early on Wraith just to get as much damage as they can and force model lane, I suppose, but Trundle has that health regen.
He's going to be fine, and they will be able to trade back if they so desire. Cuvée had that MVP performance in Game 1 on Lissandra and can back it up here with another solid game if he can get those flanks in.
Yep. Yeah, but Trace's Morgana, it's very, very good. As we can see, he can trade with the best of them. And it's been a pick he's been playing in the top lane for a long time. He's
a year.
Yeah, really been one of the only ones that have done it. But now he's in a bit of trouble. Nice flash W onto Trace. He's going to flash to try to escape, but Ambition jumps in for that first blood. And I shouldn't have said good things about Trace's Morgana.
Well, the mistake Trace made there is you have to anticipate there's a possible 3-minute gank coming, right? If you knew where the jungler started on the bottom side, heading up back to you,
Gun to Raid. Gets flayed back in for a little bit more damage. And that Ren, hard to deal with. So Wraith and Stitch getting forced back pretty far in this lane early on.
So anyway, back to the gank on the top side. We did see the 3-minute gank come in, and Trace had used his Black Shield to make that initial trade with Cuvée. And so the Black Shield cooldown pretty long there, and therefore didn't have it by the time Ambition came in. So very easy for Cuvée just to flash on top of him with the W, and he got the bind onto Ambition, but this wasn't enough to stay alive after evening out that trade and then not having the CC shield to counteract with here. And just a pretty simple mistake by Trace, and honestly, as a player, we almost never see that from him. Like, he almost will never, ever make a mistake that basic.
Yeah.
Marin, absolutely. Trace, very rare.
Yeah, Kuzan just being a bully as much as he can. But, I mean, Zilean versus Victor is kind of bully versus bully anyway. Oh, quick at the bombs.
Yeah, both wave clear good on both sides. A little bit better for Victor, and especially early when Zilean does have some mana issues. So expensive to bomb, rewind, bomb.
Got a lot of mana issues early on. Oh, the hook. Wow, nice hook on Stitch. Got him right around the side of the minion wave. Another decent amount of damage.
They're really committing very hard to trading, though, and that's means that Stitch and Wraith have actually come out a little bit ahead when it comes to CS.
I was just going to say, yeah, I hadn't looked at CS. Now Kuzan could be in trouble. He's going to have to burn that flash at least. There it is. They don't get him with the bombs, so he will just be able to get away down one summoner at least. But yeah, I didn't look at the CS, and it's funny to see all that aggressive trading. It's not really worth it if you don't get a CS lead, too.
See how far they can take it.
Oops.
The lack of Ignite was not really punished right there. Got away with it in the end, but it didn't have too large of an effect. Cuvée and Trace going for the double door and ring start, so pretty big commitment here to just pushing the lane.
Pretty much.
And that's one of the strengths of top lane Morgana, is that you can go double Doran's ring, and eventually your W, the Tormented Soil, will just instantly clear the back line of minions. And so once you have the ability to do that, your pressure on the turret is absolutely huge. So that has to be countered with some more buffing of Lissandra's early game, just so she can make sure that she doesn't just totally lose control of the minion wave.
Right. Uh-oh, Wing gets spotted.
Yep. Uses the smite there onto the Wolf camp, so Ambition does get vision. A little bit of a risky counter jungle there by Wing. Cuvée wants to get a kill on this flashless Victor. Kuzan has gone for TP this game instead of the cleanse, which he went for in game 1 against the Twisted Fate, of course. Still risky, though. He's still playing against the Zilean, which can get that at max rank to his Q, a 1.5 second stun, and the Lissandra without cleanse.
Yeah, it seems a bit risky, doesn't it?
It's kind of a risk either way, right? If you can get away with taking the TP, obviously it's going to be really nice, and especially against the Zilean in the early game, being able to match his TP with your TP going to be a good way to deal with him. You see a different Zilean build coming through this time. Looks like Frost Queen's Claim is going to be the first item. Wraith, actually.
Wow, yeah, gets hooked in, takes a lot of damage. Drops that turret, though, or not turret. He could drop turrets. Trundle would be picked every game. Drops a pillar, so he'll be able to walk away.
I don't know. Azir isn't picked every game.
Yeah, but he can't exactly drop turrets. A little bit different.
He used to be picked every game, though, so.
Yeah, that's true.
They had to send him out back to be nerfed.
Yep.
Went the way of Old Yeller.
Well, maybe in his case, he went the way of like a chicken sent to the Chicken McNugget. processing facility or something.
Wow, that's dark.
Yeah.
Where they combined him with 4 other Azirs to make it 1 chicken nugget. By the way, those things are disgusting, guys. Don't eat those.
Only the tastiest bones and sinew. Finger looking good. Wait, that's a different chicken place.
He got combined with the Raptors.
That's right. But again, you know, only like the beaks and feathers. Yeah, that's basically what happened to Azir. I'd say so. He was processed.
That's what happens to your favorite champions when they get nerfed, guys.
Yep.
Dark, dark things.
That's true.
You don't want to know what happened to York.
I mean, we know Riot says, Riot says, quote unquote, reworked. This is what they really mean.
They actually, York, what happened to him, he's actually old Greg, as you can see from his portrait.
Yeah, pretty
his
much.
champion portrait looks identical. So that's what happened to him. Yeah. They put him in a lake somewhere in the UK.
Yeah, well, at least he's got a promising career in comedy. Yep. Good old Greg.
Good old
Greg. Yep. It's not my fault. His first name is Old. His surname being Greg. Of course. Yeah. See, I mean, you look at the new Shen rework where he's got the sword flying around and all that. You know that had to be like part of some other champion. They just stuck it on there. Right.
Well, they could do whatever they want with Shen because they just have totally denied that he's a ninja in the first place. So.
That's right. Someone's like, what's that glowing sword doing outside? It's just kind of sitting in the yard. Like, that must mean Shen's around again. They're like, oh, yeah, of course. It's got to be Shen. Yep. Like Shen shows up in your kitchen. Like, Shen, I saw your sword outside. I know you're there. Oh, okay. Caught again. Early dragon for, well, not early, but dragon for Samsung. And the gank in the bottom lane as Wing comes in from the lane. Wraith pulled back into the box, and that's going to be an easy kill for Jinair.
Can they stop the dragon, though? The answer is no.
Don't think so.
Going to be smote by Ambition.
Yep.
Keep a pushback. Both top laners had the TPs, but no one responding. So Jay making the plays. And he's looking for another one. Winged is going to wrap around through the tri-brush. Remember, TP is up for Cuvee, but they don't have a good ward. He can TP to the turret.
Oh, minion wave got there. Gets in the way, and Jinair should still be able to take this turret, though.
No, there's a...
No, you don't think so?
There's a culling up.
Okay. Oh, you're right, there is. Yeah, Wing could have blocked that.
They got it 1/3 of the way down further. Another exciting early game of League of Legends.
Forgot about the culling.
Can never forget about the culling, man.
I know. People have been known to forget about Jay, but culling, that's right out.
Jay?
Yeah, oh, Dre. Oh, you know what happened right there? I forgot about Dre.
You forgot
See?
about Dre. Jeez,
I rest
Noah.
my case. I forgot about Dre.
Damn, that's rough for Dre.
Oops. I won't. What can you say? There's another rapper named Jay that maybe is pretty famous too.
You remembered him, though.
I did. I remember Jay, but I forgot about Dre. Well,
that was
thank
awful.
goodness I am just happy that I'm far enough away that I will not receive a cap from either of them as I go home tonight.
I'm writing Dre a letter.
Yeah. Your typewriter.
That was the gravest insult
Dear
to Dre.
Mr. Dre. Oh, oops.
Dr.
Dre.
You have to use his proper title.
He worked for that degree.
Yeah, he worked for it. He spent 7 years in rap school.
That's right. Dear Dr. Dre, today my casting partner Doa forgot about you, and we know that bothers you, so I thought I'd just let you know.
I think that you should diagnose him terminally.
Maybe consider placing a cap in his posterior for good measure. From a moving vehicle, if possible. Sincerely, Monte Cristo. I've written it for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Trace, like, where's that Cuvee guy at? Well.
He didn't forget about Cuvée, though.
No, he didn't forget about Cuvée. Well, what do you do? You know, when the lanes are kind of just being farmed, and there's no dragon, no real reason to gank anybody.
You play some laning League of Legends where you hit the
Yep.
minions. Maybe you teleport into the top side. Well, at least they have that going for them now. Trace has TP advantage because he's been fearlessly pushing this lane down as
Fearlessly.
yeah, W increases in strength.
What a brave guy.
Only the bravest in the top lane.
Well, I can't argue with that. You have to be alone. Unless you're Cuvée on Rise, and you're never alone. You've got a big group of people all waiting to see you.
You have Anar trying to give you hugs.
That's right. He's not very good at it, though. Well, Ambition grabbed and put in the box. Chain a lot of trouble, though, Wraith. Trying to zone out Kuzan to give Ambition a chance to run away.
Good job on Janair's part. They did not forget about Che in the bottom side of that river.
Forgot about Che. Oh. Other fakers act like they forgot about Che.
That's right. Usually we save that one for the SKT
true.
Tigers game. for
That's
Bray.
true, yeah. That's, yep. It works so well with so many different
It does.
players, though. Yep. Sometimes I'm looking at the calendar and I forget a month, and I'm like, I forgot about May. Oh, Trace and Cuvée. Cuvée self-faults, and we'll see if Trace can finish him. No, not
Wow,
quite.
that
Not with
was
the heal.
really exciting.
That was so exciting.
Cuvé's just always able to pop that ultimate and heal himself back
Oops.
up with the changes, the buffs they made to Sandra a few patches back. But that means Trace gets free autos on the turret, Doa.
Sweet. That's going to do some damage to that turret.
Well, as thoroughly not exciting as this game has been, for Samsung, this is basically with the mid lane Zillion, you just want to scale. Game of scaling. And eventually Zillion's going to get so much utility that you will just be able to dive any turret you want, and there won't be defense for the Janair Green Wing. So as long as things continue to go just about even, Samsung is just going to be fine. They've got all the tools to fight in the late game. They have the first dragon. They can continue to fight around those objectives.
Yeah, the other team has Victor and Callista, so they might do okay too.
I mean, if they can get damage down again, it's about the engage. How are you going to engage on Samsung? Their kiting is so good, and their dive is so good. Basically, you have to hope that you get the perfect opportunity to team fight that Samsung's going to attempt to run into you.
Could be. I think we're going to have another dragon soon. My dragon sense is tingling. What do you think?
I think you're right. I wasn't even bitten by a radioactive dragon, and I know that.
It's one of the many perks.
Radioactive dragons would be quite terrifying.
It's true. Well, they sound like a great 90s kids cartoon. Or really a kids cartoon for any era.
I mean, Imagine Dragons had that song Radioactive. It's almost like
there
a
you go.
radioactive dragon.
Yeah, that's right. If I was bit by one of the members of Imagine Dragons, maybe I would get those powers too. Hasn't happened. All right, there's the dragon. Don't have to imagine that one. Samsung,
It's not radioactive, though.
no, it's not.
It's also not imagined.
No, but I would imagine they're able to kill it, and they are. Jay just wants a good look at that. Oh. Haha.
Can't forget about Che when he's hooking you over the wall.
No. Green Lysandra, man.
Never gets old, does it?
You really need to make that much noise. I mean, eventually they're going to start adding, like, vocal things to items, too, right? You hit somebody with Luden's Echo and it just goes, Luda! You know? Which seems like, of course, the only one I could attach to that item.
I think you should make a very satisfying splat sound as the purple goop hits everybody. It's like a sickening splat.
It's true, you can do that.
Hello.
Oh, a flash.
Yep, cleared the black shield with
Yeah.
the claw, and then with the Q rather, and then easily able to force the flash out of Trace.
Yep. Oh, the Rift Herald. It's going to be taken by Samsung and given over to Ambition, I would imagine.
Could be given to Cube, actually.
Oh, could be. This is going to be our first fight over the Rift Herald ever? They're like, yeah, we don't want it. Go ahead. Oh, wow. He used the collateral damage. Didn't get it, though. Well, nice try. But I don't think Samsung's too worried about giving up the Rift Herald.
Nope, I don't think they care at all, though. At the very least, maybe it was nice to get it onto Cuvée so you'd have a little more pushback in that lane.
True.
Probably you're right. Still going to go over to Ambition. Now, the waiting game continues.
Ah, yes.
Instead, they'll give it to Trace for some more pushing power, and this is how you play that top lane Morgana. Don't let up and get that first turret.
They never would have gotten that without the Rift Herald.
Certainly help with that very large minion wave.
Yeah.
Cuvée now have to clean up the remains.
That was the first turret of the game, too.
This has been a very uneventful standard lane game.
Sure has. Hey, there was a ward there. Oh, well.
That was the level of excitement you were looking for, right, Doa?
Yep. I got to save it for our next match. EM Fire versus Longzhu. Yeah. Hey, but Crash is playing those.
Crash is so exciting to watch.
And Flame, too.
Indeed. And Frozen. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Maybe we'll get to see Frozen's Lux. I don't know.
I hope we do. Frozen's Lux is the meta for him, finally.
I hope we get to see Crash's Nidalee again, because that was just absolutely insane on Wednesday.
That is going to be banned,
you may be right on that one, yeah. Yeah, probably.
I think when you end a 25-minute game as a jungler with the highest level in the game and 100 CS more than the enemy jungler, that you will get banned out. That's what I think.
He just has the ability, though, as we've seen, to just get massive CS leads on any jungler.
I would just ban Graves and Nidalee and see what he can do.
I think that's probably the best course of action. He'd probably just take Elise then, but we shall see.
But he
Coming up after this.
He can't power farm on those two picks, or on Elise compared to the other two picks.
Well,
that's been his real. Strength.
You know what that means to me? Nocturne incoming. Wait for it. It's time. Oh, it's time for Kuzan to try to do some damage to Crown, but he'll settle for a little bit instead. All right, well, Turret goes down in top. Looks like Turret will go down in bot lane. A little bit of a dive coming in from Jin Air, but here's the TP for Samsung.
Everybody's down there.
Trace caught out a little bit, gets ulted, gets taken out. Kill comes in for Crown, and now Samsung looking for more. They lose Wraith, but they will at least trade 1 for 1. Probably not going to be able to hold that turret for too much longer.
Yeah, you see Ambition here just continuing to put pressure onto the tier 2, so they actually got something right that. They got both teleports out. Not sure they're going to be able to save this. Oh, looks like they are just barely able to clear it, so they get a turret and a half, really, and 2 TPs out for that with a 1-for-1 trade. That was actually really nice for Samsung as they keep this game just dead even.
Yeah, pretty much.
Winning that 5v4, and so hard to dive that. Of course, Crown had the Chrono Shift available, and so taking that down, and pretty easy save there.
Yeah, and we really saw the strength of the zone from the Zillion bombs.
Just so hard for Jin Air to counteract this composition with what they've drafted. You'd think after that game 2 where they had the draft and they had the superior kiting composition with the lack of engage on the enemy side that they would have maybe not done that to themselves this game, but
they were like, well, we can win with it.
You never know, really.
True. All right, well, Crown is close by to help push this. Going back up into lane now, as there's no real minion waves to help out. And he's got to defend his own turret, too. Yeah, whatever, Lassandra. Lassandra, I don't know why I couldn't pronounce that for a second. Lassandra.
That's what they call her in France.
I guess so. French Lassandra? I don't know. It's been a long week, guys.
I bet French Lassandra just goes, haul, haul.
Could be. Have to ask Chips and Noir.
I'll look at that up now.
Well, Self-Fault to stay alive. Crown coming to try to be intimidating, and he succeeds.
Press Chrono Shift, you mean?
Yeah. Well, no, he was intimidating. Oh, Wraith gets grabbed, though. 3v1. Ambition coming in from the side to try to save his support. Not going to work. They're going to lose Wraith. Oops. Trundle was a little bit too close. No ult, no way to survive.
Yeah, that's the kind of pick they have to make, though, Jenner, if they're actually going to stay into this game. And fortunately for them, it will allow them the opportunity to pick up a dragon. Great wards already placed down, but Samsung can dive this, and they're going to force a flash. Che tries to lantern it out. There's a lot of spears in that dragon.
Yeah, there are.
Ambition gets it!
Whoa!
What?
How did Ambition get that? He smited it right before the Ren came down, I guess.
He just full comboed it with his ultimate and with his Q, and he timed it in such a way that the burst was absolutely enormous.
Wow. Don't
Wow,
see that happen
was
against Alessandra very often. Or against Callisto, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. All the same, those champions. Except when they're totally different. But yeah, really kind of shocking that Ambition was able to pick that up.
Wow, that's absolutely huge for Samsung. The one pick that Jenner has managed to get this game, they failed to convert on and pick up an objective. So they are in pretty big trouble now.
Hello. Winged wants to take out that ward, and I think Kubia's going to have to let him. Yep.
Throw some Qs, but that Rek'Sai is pretty tanky.
Yeah. That turret bot lane is nearly dead. Holding on to it by just a little bit of health left.
A thread, you might say.
Thread, yes. Although I don't think anyone's sewing turrets together.
It's a metaphor, Della.
I know, but it's a very realistic game, so I decided to take it very realistically.
That's why we're in video games, Della, for the seriousness and the realism.
It's the realism when it comes down to it. That's right. Oh, Samsung responds by taking their bottom turret. So every time Jenner gets close to an objective, it seems like in the last 10 minutes or so, Samsung has been able to turn that right around into an objective for themselves. Wing really wants to make a pick here, but he's not going to find it.
He doesn't have a good form of engage, so you're not going to make that pick without the Morgana or the Thresh there.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's been getting some nice deep wards in, so that's the one thing that he's really been able to accomplish. However, that's just insufficient, and they've given Samsung enough time here with a relatively even gold score. Bazillion now starting to stack up that Rod of Ages, going for what would appear to be a Luden's Echo next for some more AoE damage.
Yep. You know, watching Rek'Sai chase people around reminds me of the Rek'Sai cartoon that they released when the champion came out. And
I never saw that.
it was basically just some people in the desert getting killed. It's like this little boy and his family, and they just get killed.
Really?
That's just it. Rek'Sai just comes and kills him. And then the Bard cartoon came out, and it was some people in a village, and they all just got killed. Bard showed up, but they all just got killed. Oh, grab onto Crown. Nice chaining of the CC. And he's going to go ahead and keep himself alive for the moment. Backing off. Yeah, it's hard to kill a Zillion, isn't it? Yeah. That's what happens.
Well, they successfully traded flashes for that.
So my point is that it seems like when Riot makes a cartoon about a champion, just everybody dies.
No one expects everybody to die in a cartoon, Doa. They're being subversive.
Some cartoons, maybe. Oh, they're going to try to get the turret, and they will. So yet again, and they may go deeper onto this one. No, they don't need to. And Samsung's being very good about being measured in their aggression this game.
Yeah, just take out the mid lane turret, force them off. That's what your comp does.
Yeah.
You've got another dragon coming up in about 3 minutes.
But that's yet another instance where Jenner tried to make a play. Looked like they were going to. Samsung turns it around, and they're the ones who get the objective.
Yep. It's going to be a really tough battle for Jenner. They simply cannot take advantage of the composition of Samsung. Just like the draft was a problem the last game, it's a problem this one. Pilot going to try and duel this. Kuzan is here. Goodbye.
Yeah. Sorry, Stitch. Can't do the 1v2 against Victor Callista.
Got way too far forward there. Just zero vision.
Yep. And that's a situation where Jenner just gets something easy. I've had the flu all week, and I haven't sounded that bad.
Well, you haven't had to project ice at all this week, so.
I'm projecting something.
By the way, apparently in the League of Legends universe, projecting ice is very difficult because Trundle likes to scream while doing it too.
He does.
No, Annie, fire, no problem.
There you go. Case in point.
Ice, though, that one really hurts. That one stings.
I guess. I'm glad I haven't experienced that. It's the shards. The shards of ice. Well, they managed to keep their mid lane turret alive still.
It's all about this dragon.
I was going to say, it's about dragon time again.
1 minute.
We know. We know when it's happening.
I don't know where the overlay went, guys. We've been over this.
It's
I have
weird.
no idea where the Dragon and Baron timers went this patch.
Like some of the games, the trinket cooldowns aren't working either. Like all of the basic warding totem trinkets, the cooldowns aren't operating. They're working now on these, but it seems like the basic ones, you use it and it just shows full cooldown until it's done, and then it just instantly goes back to off cooldown. So something's messed up with the overlay on this patch. Clearly.
Also, Korean teams don't get base banners. Nope, nothing like that.
Oh, too bad. They might have to win Worlds for a 4th time to get that, I guess.
Clearly not important enough.
Yeah. And it's Dragon time. And Jinair really does not want to let Samsung have that. Here's the TP coming in from behind. A flank from Kube is going to try to get in, dodges the Dark Binding. Very nicely done. Dragon getting low, and they take it. That's 4 dragons now. And the fight is on. Shay in the middle of everything. Gets pulled out with the Fate's Call. Kube blocked immediately after he comes out of the ultimate. And he will actually go down eventually, but not before Crown picks up his first kill. Stitch zones away with that ultimate. Ambition able to pick one up on the side. Now he's going after Trace, but Pilot is there. Ambition needs to be careful. Oh, not careful enough.
They just can't engage, Doa.
I guess so.
Like, there's no way for them to finish off some of these kills with the amount of zoning, even in a wide open space like the river, especially when Cube is causing so many problems. He was basically 1v2ing in the back as they tried to prevent him from getting onto the carry line, and there's just no getting in there against the Zillion or the Trundle.
It's insane how much health their mid turret still has at this point in the game, too.
Ambition doing a little loop-de-loop.
Yeah, some fancy footwork. Oh, he's going in with the bomb. That's how you get your teammates to die. You're like, well, the bomb's on you. Go ahead and dive. Dive that turret.
I have Chrono Shift, I promise.
Yeah. Oh, LG, don't worry, man. All right, he's got it. Nope, Zillion's not there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We need a Zillion stat. Winged could be in trouble. He needs a Zillion on his team, too. Oh, wow. Makes it out. Doesn't get killed by the ultimate. Dark Binding doesn't hit. Crown pulled under the turret. They take out the turret, so it doesn't really matter anymore, and he gets out of range of Trace's ultimate. Uh-oh, Stitch. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, Stitch.
He had 2 Chrono Shifts on about that fight, and now they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I think so. Wing coming in from the side. Trouble is a relative term. All right, well, trouble. Yeah.
I meant that Wing was going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I see. Thank you for clarifying.
Sorry if that wasn't clear right off the bat.
The plural winged. They're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's because Winged is male, but Rek'Sai is female, so I didn't know which pronoun to use. That's why.
Well, there you go. The neutral winged.
But yes, they have so much. Again, they just have the Frost Queen's Claim. They had the Lissandra ultimate up.
Yeah.
Pillar, easy kill. So we're going to take a look at this fight once again. Now look at this. Trace has to come around the side and tries to pop his ultimate, but that is quickly broken. And Cube, that was actually beautiful by Cube. He E'd over, or he just kind of got in with the E in the end and got around while burning Trace's ult at the same time. Really nicely done.
Was indeed. This Zillion has worked out really well when we've seen it across the world so far.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful right now, especially because so much of the meta is based around turret kills. The ease that it gives you to dive and just continue running as fast as you can to pursue these kills is highly valuable.
Yeah, defending yourself against the dive too.
Well, we can talk about it. In a meta game where we see less emphasis generally on Dragon, more emphasis on turrets and map control, and especially during lane swaps when the long lanes develop, and somebody has to go clear, otherwise you just lose a bunch of minions. If you push out and you split one of the enemy team members off while you have 5 people in the mid lane, Zilean just allows you to instantly dive on that, and there's not really a lot of counterplay available.
Yep. Well, Pilot having no issues with those bombs, able to sustain right back up again.
You need the decisive dives, and that's what Zilean Poppy, Zilean Lissandra is going to give you.
Yep.
Just playing around that 5v4, which actually is more like a 6v4 when you factor in Chrono Shift. And you get a big, oops.
Oh, hi. Well, you may need to use it now. Yep, there we go. No, there we don't go. What?
Looks like he was just chain CC'd there. It was the bind into the hook. Nice pick from Jinair.
I thought I saw the animation go down, but I guess not. It's kind of subtle.
Just immediate.
Uh-oh. Ambition in trouble now as well. Backs away, he's huge, and he's safe.
He's Sterix Gage. They're gonna have to give up that turret though, and this is the only way Jinair wins this game, I think, is if they keep making picks like that. That is 100% what they have to do, but they're gonna have to do it a lot more than just once.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get a lot of vision out of little instances like this too to be able to set up those picks.
They know it too. They're just going for the Baron.
Yep.
Crown up at 20.
Yep.
Still going to be a 5v4 at the Baron, and they don't have a Chaos Storm.
Culling takes a big chunk out of Che. Trace trying to zone on the bottom part of the fight. Here comes Ambition. This Baron does not seem like a great idea. Kube goes in. Pilot takes a ton of damage. Flashes out, cleanses as well. Baron doing damage to Samsung now. Trace on the side of the fight. Samsung really forcing this one, but Kube's getting a little bit low. Stitch gets grabbed, and that's a kill on the AD carry. Jinair turning this one around. Trace comes back in with his ultimate, forces some more flashes. Samsung doesn't want to give up though. Crown comes in for a kill. May get 2. Double kill though for Trace. Pretty bloody fight overall.
Yeah, and that was extremely close, and they actually prevented Ambition from smiting the Baron there due to Jake tying him up with a flash flay, it looked like.
Yeah.
Otherwise he could have gotten to that pit and maybe actually just burned it down instantaneously. But Stitch's positioning has been really off this game. He's ate a binding at the front of that fight, so and of course he didn't have the Chrono Shift this time, so watch this. Ambition, so they're afraid he's going to start that. Look at Chait flashes just so he can't actually auto the Baron right there and try and take it out, buying a little bit of time. But Stitch, I mean, right into the bind and the hook, not keeping track of those cooldowns.
Dragon number 5 though, for Samsung, they're still missing Kube. We'll see if they can get it. Pilot down on the Jinair side. They're going to try to seal it, but no. So there's 5 dragons now for Samsung. Kube won't have it, but at least 4 members of the team will be powered up. And we'll see if they can grab that Baron.
Well, they can grab the Baron. They can just push right here. Their dive is absolutely huge. So especially with the fifth Baron buff, feel very comfortable. They can just bait the Baron too. They have plenty of vision after they clear out these ping boards, and Scuttle Crab does not burn alive. He's not cooked this time. He's trying to run.
Oh.
It's all right. He doesn't die.
Close.
He just hides underwater.
Poor Scuttle Crab, man. That's right. And then he informs on anyone who comes in the area.
What a rat that Scuttle Crab is.
Yeah. Yep. Snitches get stitches, literally in this game. Stitches will come and kill you.
I don't know. Stitch hasn't been giving too many stitches out. He's mostly just been on the receiving end.
Stitches gets, well, dead. Baron time for Samsung. Got to be careful. Wow, Pilot takes a ton of damage to Culling. Finishes him off. There's a play from Stitch. And Winged on the way out. Zoning from the bomb. Here's the TP coming down. Kube's going to try to get inside the fight. They catch Winged. Another easy kill comes in. And Samsung setting up what could be an inhibitor here, depending on how they take it. No, they're going to go back for the Baron. I guess the minion waves weren't quite pushed up far enough to turn that fight into a bigger objective, but getting the Baron is pretty big.
They'll certainly take it. And at that point, they will have the necessary pressure just to go ahead and dive the turrets with the minion wave. Cuvée already prepping this one in the bottom side. Another good TP from Cuvée.
Yeah.
Found Winged on the side and turned it into a kill. Trace there dodging the Q so he doesn't get his black shield popped.
Worked out well. And they are putting a very effective siege.
Just so much turret damage with the 5th dragon buff.
Oh yeah, that and Baron, nothing's gonna stand up against that.
There's no possibility. Take their 1 inhibitor, recall, spend your money at home, and then finish off the rest of the Baron. Samsung really in cruise control right now.
Yep, so we have seen 5 dragons twice in this series now.
As expected,
How about that?
Doa.
I know, right? All right, let's watch that fight again. First of all,
What happened with Stitch here on the side? Oh, Pilot just got nailed by the bombs. Easy finisher from Stitch.
yeah,
Line, too.
not bad. I could guess approximately where he was, I suppose, because of the bombs.
Had to hit him like twice.
Yeah, wasn't hard. And now it's time for the middle turret. Shay coming from the side. Here comes Wing. Tried to come through the wall for the play, or underneath it rather. They're going to pull Shay back in with the Fate's Call. Looks like Samsung, though, is perfectly happy just extending that lead and taking out the turrets in bottom now.
They can play patiently. Jenner had a bit of time to stave off the top lane minion wave, but look at the just Luden's damage. The poke is so huge. Oh my!
Oh, wow.
Jay.
Oh, Winged in trouble. That all didn't last long. I don't know if that was quite necessary, Kube, but I think the game may be very close to over at this point.
It's gonna come through and finish off the rest of these turrets.
Every single inhibitor is necessary. Crown gets caught.
Stitch dies
Stitch
again.
dies suddenly, somehow. And never mind. Maybe the game won't end right now. As the flash comes in for Che, he's going to grab Wraith. And that's another kill. Wow, very sloppy by Samsung after taking that 3rd inhibitor. How in the world did Stitch die?
Jenner gonna get dragon number 5 yet again. The death timers are long, but there's so many turrets left over for Samsung. They have 2 super minions coming with every wave, with all 3 inhibitors dead. Doesn't really matter.
Yep. Pretty much.
Jenner standing their ground, but I think this will just about do it. They basically have to contest this 5th dragon, and they're not going to be able to do that. So
Rift Scuttler, like the expression on his face is just like, why? It's just like shock and disappointment.
well, he can't go anywhere. He's actually just stuck in the lake. It's not even a river, it's just a lake. It doesn't go anywhere.
It's a long, thin lake. A slough, almost.
It's not even really a lake, it's like 1 foot deep.
Yeah, it's like a slough. It's like a kind of a lake that's very shallow, very marshy.
What a useless body of water.
Yeah. Is there nothing on this map we can't criticize?
No, Doa. No,
I don't
there
think
isn't.
so.
Nothing makes sense.
We got it. Anything. That grass. That grass doesn't make any sense.
How could you possibly hide in that grass?
I know, right? It's impossible.
Look how tall Lissandra is. You'd see her in a second.
Clearly. She's got that spiky head thing that...
Only Yordle should be
Pokes
able
up.
to hide in grass.
True, yeah. Teemo's got it right, but all the rest of the Yordles, completely unrealistic. Evelyn, you know, she's small-ish.
She's also invisible anyway, so I accept it.
Yep. Rek'Sai's underground. Well, not underground. Not all the way.
Well, I guess we're going to set up a pick here. And by that, I mean wait for the dragon animation to end. Oh, poor dragon.
Come on down. Ouch. All right, dragon number 5 again for Samsung. Crowd is thrilled.
So am I, Doa. So am I.
Me too. Not every day you get to see 6 dragons to 0 for a team. This is really going to hurt Jenner's dragon per game average, isn't it? Or rather, dragons against opponents' dragons. I don't know. Some stat.
Yes, Doa, this game is going to hurt some stat.
Some
You are
stats are
correct,
definitely going
sir.
to change. That's my analysis. Whoa, Winged. His hit point stat going way down. There goes the first Nexus turret. Second one soon to follow. Trace with a last-ditch effort to try to engage here. And it doesn't look like it's going to work, though. Nope, Trace is taken out. And Samsung cleaning up this fight. That 5th dragon makes it very easy. Nice play by Kube just to lock up a couple more members. Kuzan and Che. There goes the Nexus, and Samsung in a long best of 3 will take it. GG.
Well,
just as we predicted.
we actually wrote the script for this one, Noah.
We
Spoiler.
should say that. There's lots of, there's been some match fixing going around in not the Korean LoL scene, but
No.
Arena C2 scene.
It's been bad, but in any case, Samsung comes out with a win, and Janair started 5-1. They're now 5-2, and Janair coming into the tougher part of their season, whereas Samsung over the hump, and it was a long one. Especially that game number 1 really could have gone either way, and game 2 was quite decisive in favor of Janair. But both in games 2 and 3, the composition that was able to kite against the low engage of the enemy comp was the one that ended up winning. And I think a lot of these games were just decided in draft.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what we learned today, Monte Cristo, is that if you pick a comp with no engage, you can't engage.
Yeah, we did learn that. And if you don't make the picks or get enough gold lead to control and contest objectives and force the enemy to walk into you, you're probably not going to win the game.
You're right. So if you're thinking of picking Volibear, just give up.
Yes.
No Volibear.
No Volibear for anybody right now.
Yep, sorry. We wish it could be different, but it's the way things are. And that's the way things are for Janair as well. And when we come back, EM Fire versus Longjun, our second best of 3 here on Champion Spring. We'll see you right after this.